This is Adrian Neville, and you are listening to the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show.
Produced by the Cleveland Sound Radio Network. Here is the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, hosted by Glenn Moore and Steve Guy.
Welcome. This is Awesome Wrestling Show right here on SealySound.com. We are back, and we have a special treat for you on this week's episode. Now, we usually get interviews every week. We've had a strong list of guests on the show, from WWE to indies to indie wrestlers to TNA.
Sure.
But this week, we have a very special treat for you because it's our longest interview ever. Almost 50 minutes with all ego Ethan Page right here. So we're going to condense our talking that we do back and forth here. And
yeah, it's enough for an entire show.
Oh, it is.
Which is as much as you need for a guy whose name is all ego.
Yeah. So we talk about his run-in with Chris Jericho.
As a youngin'.
His relationship with Johnny Gargano, who's been on the show. Just indie wrestling in general. Just a great conversation with him. We had a Wrestling Geek Fest over the weekend. And before we get into the interview, because it's going to take up most of the show, it's great. It's comedy gold. Talk about Wrestling Geek Fest. Your thoughts about our time out in Strongsville?
Wrestle Geek Fest, so it was a good time. It was their first one that they did in Strongsville, Ohio. At the Holiday Inn, they have like a nice conference center, so to speak, there.
Yeah, it was nice.
And the AIW show was great, top notch as always. They did Battle of the Sexes too there, men versus the women. Candice LeRae, Johnny Gargano, probably the highlight for me in that one, just from the fact of the technical standpoint of both of them as wrestlers. And obviously their chemistry, since they are a real-life couple. Was just fantastic. They had a comedy show. Not a ton of people, unfortunately, stuck around for that afterwards. Mike Lawrence, who was very funny, was the headliner. Mm-hmm. He's a wrestling fan. He's been on Comedy Central. So, I mean, it was a funny show. It was a fun show. My friend Chris Clem was, of course, on it. And then the cool thing was, too, in that room they had set up TVs with old-school wrestling games. I got to be victorious.
Oh, you did?
In a Nintendo 64 WCW NWO Revenge game, which I was Chris Jericho. I did that just for Ethan Page. You'll understand that joke soon.
Yeah.
And Chris Clem was the Stinger, and he lost. But yeah, I mean, maybe just enough people didn't know about it. The idea I like. Probably some things to tweak. But again, first year.
It had that Comic-Con feel to it.
Yeah.
Saturday they had people dress up in costumes. Veda Scott from Ring of Honor, she was IRS. And wrestling as good. IRS. You had Blue Pants dressed as Mankind. She wrestled as Mankind. Then you had Crazy Mary Dobson, Sarah Dobson as in NXT. She was there and she dressed as Kane. And wrestled as Kane.
That sounds about right.
So that was pretty cool to see that. They had some sketch comedy. So, I mean, it's a great concept, a great idea.
Surprise showing up by Virgil.
Yeah, I agree. But I feel like the Geek Fest turns people off because I don't think all wrestling fans consider them geeks, and they don't want to be called
geeks,
that.
Right, yeah.
So maybe you had a wrestling, only name, take the Geek Fest out. Maybe it'll attract more people, but... And it is in Strongsville, so I mean, what's there to do in Strongsville?
What if you called it like
Chick-fil-A?
What if you called it Mark Fest?
Mark Fest? I don't know people like PM. Mark is a bad term.
I know.
You don't want to be called the Mark?
But that's who goes to these things.
So, no, I'm not a Mark. Come on, Steve.
I suppose, yes. You can mark out and not be a mark.
Marking out 69.
I think that's fair, right?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can mark out here and there, but if you're... Oh, I'm gonna go to marking out or Mark Fest. Like, no.
Yeah.
You can't do that, Steve.
Yeah, I don't know what you call it then.
No. But I was a great. I think it was a great idea. Just first year's always rough. But yeah, Virgil was there.
Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Yeah. He was not a fan of the AIW wrestling show.
No.
He was not a fan. John Thorne, good friend of the show, he tweeted out that the Hammer did not like AIW Friday Night Show.
He did not like the intergender wrestling.
He did not like it at all. He was not a fan, and he showed it. He was not very pleased with what was going on.
Well, intergender is not something for everyone.
Especially old school guys.
Sure, absolutely.
The old school guys don't like intergender matches.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was fun. I mean, we had partake in some festivities after, which was fun.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
It was all right.
It was good. It was a good time though. To kind of go along with interaction, it's probably a good time to let people know. Glenn and I testing something out this week. We are actually periscoping live while we record this.
No one's watching this.
We are now 0 viewers.
0. We have 2.
2 viewers. Thanks. Follow us on Periscope. Just same name as we have on Twitter at TIA Wrestling.
Follow us on Twitter first, then Periscope.
Yeah.
We appreciate the Twitter followers more than Periscope.
Maybe we'll try to Periscope next week.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe.
But it's a nice little live interaction. Then you could tweet us while we're recording.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll talk about what you want to talk about, but probably not because it's our show.
I don't think we're there yet with the social media presence.
It's our show.
Yeah. We get the iTunes people that come and listen to our show, podcast downloads.
Yeah.
But we need more interaction. That's what we want. We are building a website that's in the works right now. And hopefully in a couple of weeks, we can present that to you. Nice, classy, crisp, sleek website for everybody.
Yeah.
So we'll have all our shows, interviews. We'll have blog posts, link to our Twitter, Instagram. So we'll have plenty of stuff on our website, and you guys can leave comments and stuff. So plenty. We have emails for the show if you want to ask us questions. So we are getting a little bit more advanced here, not just coming in and doing a show, posting to iTunes. We are kind of building our own brand, and we possibly will have T-shirts. We'll have everything, dude.
We'll have it all, brother.
Yeah. No Terry H.H. T-shirts.
No.
I feel like that would be a lawsuit coming.
Probably.
But I don't think Ryan would appreciate a lawsuit.
Nope.
So yeah, follow us on Twitter. TIA Wrestling is our Twitter feed. Head over there. We post some hilarity stuff over there too. All Eagle Ethan Page, our interview with him coming up here shortly. Do you want to do our SummerSlam? This really quick rundown before or after Ethan Page. I feel like Ethan Page needs to come now.
Yeah, let's give the due diligence to Ethan Page.
Okay.
Hey, big thanks to Chipotle for having the Chipotle app.
Oh, come on. Don't give out free
Got
advertising,
the show rolling.
Dude.
Well, maybe they'll want to advertise. If you'd like to advertise with us, find us at TIA Wrestling. Reach out to us that way. At Chipotle Tweets, if you'd like to advertise with us, we'd be more than happy since we eat your food.
Yeah, before every show.
That's
how we get hypey.
But we're not going to tell everybody that every week unless you give us free food or money.
Yeah. Give us a gift card.
Yeah.
Just do that. It would be fun.
Unlimited access on my app.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday. TIAWS Tuesdays at Chipotle.
All right. All Ego Ethan Page. He's from Canada. He mixed the rounds at AIW, a 2-time AIW champion. He's done stuff with Ring of Honor, Dragon Gate, Evolve. He's been around. He's only 25 years old.
Yeah, very young.
So he's still fresh in the game, son. But he's a great wrestler, great on the mic as well. And this is why the interview went around 48 minutes, because he's such great around the mic. We tried ending it twice.
We did.
Like half an hour through, and then just kept going. But it was great. It's not one of those interviews to where it gets boring after half an hour.
No, just chatting the whole time.
Yeah, it was great. So, if you're just like, listen to us when you're working out or just hanging around the house, this is a great conversation just to have on, and we just talk wrestling. So this is our conversation from Wrestling Geek Fest over the weekend in Strongsville with the All Ego Ethan Page, which you can follow on Twitter at @OfficialEgo.
We're back here on This Is Awesome Wrestling Show. We are sitting down now at Wrestling Geek Fest this weekend in Strongsville, Ohio.
First one.
Should be a good time. A lot of stuff going on. The reason we are here tonight is, of course, for AIW's Battle of the Sexes 2. That's headlining their first evening on Friday night. And we have the opportunity to sit down with AIW star, also in Ring of Honor, Evolve, AAW, Alpha 1, All Ego, Ethan Page. Welcome to the show, sir.
What's up? I'm impressed with these mics. I already told you guys that earlier.
Don't
yeah.
stop them.
Honestly, usually it's just like, hey, can you just call me on Skype? Or like when people are like, oh, can I have your real number? It's like, come on. Really? I don't want to see a video of you on Skype.
Yeah, we're a classy bunch here.
Yeah, this is professional. I don't even know what that giant box is with all the plugs.
Yeah,
but it looks impressive.
It is.
Yeah.
The mics are expensive, so don't drop them.
Yeah. No, I got a good hold on it.
When John Thorne comes in the studio, he gets to sit on a leather couch, and he thinks it's the best thing in the world.
Whoa, do you guys have like a green room?
I mean, technically, there's a room that we could put people in.
Yeah.
It's not really green.
It's just a room outside of like
it's
the
like
padded
a room
walls.
next to it. I mean, our studio is like 3 different rooms.
Fair enough.
So there's a room that people can go into.
That's impressive.
Yeah, we have actually 2 studios. We have a small
It's true.
one studio that we use for our show. Then there's actually like actual studio where we have like guests come in and chill and
Yeah.
So we're a high class.
I was gonna say this is the classiest podcast I've done.
Well,
just starting, so don't drop the ball, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
Steve is blushing right now.
it's a a word that usually is not synonymous with my name, but I'll
right,
take it.
So we like Steve mentioned, we're at Wrestling Geek Fest and Battle of the Sexes, which is intergender matches.
Right.
And we don't usually see that with WWE. Is guys wrestling girls.
Right.
And you get a chance to wrestle tonight, and you've done it before, but it's unique, and the women wrestlers are so talented. It's not just a guy going out there just dominating a girl. That sounds so bad, but
right.
It's a great match.
Sign me up to watch that.
It's a great it's a great story, but as a wrestler, why is it probably one of the best things in wrestling because of the storyline, the matches itself, but in your eyes, why hasn't it taken off in like WWE?
I think for them this is like a kid's product, even though like it's getting racier, but at the end of the day, you see a man beating a woman, it's negative right away. Whereas like the fans coming to this event today, they're coming to support like the best women's wrestlers as a sport. So they're in on it and they know what's going on. So they're like, oh, look at these girls. They're just as good as the guys. That's why they're here. So it's the gimmick itself, guy versus girl, is just like it's like, I don't know, a cool way of advertising the best women wrestlers. Yeah.
It's fun. You get to do probably a bit more humorous storytelling.
Right.
Well,
that was our take tonight. Was I was the woman, and she was the man, because I personally hate being put in these positions to wrestle a girl because of the way my brain works.
Yeah.
Like I'm twice her size. Realistically, I would beat the living shit out of her, but if I did that, I would be totally scrutinized by the internet world because how come Ethan Page didn't let her do her cool moves to him?
Yeah.
He doesn't respect women in real life.
Yeah.
Just like, ugh. Or I'm trying to make a realistic product. So we went totally different way, and it was her idea, Allison Kay. Great women's wrestler, respect her. I'm super happy with how the match came off.
But you do have a fun, creative wrestling mind. When you mock a fan who would say, oh, he didn't let her do her moves, but I mean, I've seen you wrestle long enough here with AIW specifically, and I mean, one thing that comes to mind is you being the guy that goes to Buff Bagwell and says, hey, you're going to do a Canadian Destroyer.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not, despite the fact that your name is All Ego, when it comes to a match, you're not really all ego in putting it together.
No, not at all. But that was 100% strategic to benefit me. Because I knew I'd be in the clip. I knew I would be in the match.
True.
I knew
everybody's going to look at Buff Bagwell.
Who's not going to click Buff Bagwell does Canadian Destroyer? And it's like people that are in on it know that move is not the guy doing the move. It is the guy taking the move. And I am not a very athletic guy. So I'm like, I'm just going for this one. And it turned out to be great. So it worked out for me, definitely.
And you got to watch him sing American Males up
yes.
close and personal.
Okay. The Canadian Destroyer was great, but burning him on the mic was one of the greatest moments of my life.
Folks, if you have not YouTubed this, YouTube it.
Yeah, check it out.
Because you ripped him pretty hard.
I asked him too, and he was like, say whatever you want. Say I brought my mom into the business. Say I killed 3 companies. He's like, make fun of me all you want. I'm like, are you sure, Buff? Because I'm like, this guy's been on friggin' TV. And he's like, yeah, say whatever you want. Go to town. And I was like, okay. And he did not expect any of that.
When we have people on, we like to know your how you got in the business, how you started, and we like to talk before we do the we hit the record button, and we ask who trained you, and you said yourself, not because of your all ego, but
right.
It's true. You're only 25 years old. You've done so much so far, but I got to hear, how does one train themselves to be a professional wrestler?
Well, I did go to a school
Okay.
for maybe like a month and a half. I don't know how many classes that would be, so maybe like, let's just say 6. So I learned how to fall, I learned how to run, but I picked it up real quick because I did Taekwondo and martial arts. So did that, learned real quick, had one practice match, and I was like, I'm good enough. I don't have to come here anymore. So I started I started
like
wrestling.
Everybody's
Started wrestling, and Michael Elgin was like, oh, either there's 2 theories of this, and I'll never know the truth. One, he either actually honestly saw potential in me, like I did end up being successful, but maybe not at that time, and brought me on the road with him, or knew I had my license and a car he could drive into the ground and took me on the road with him.
Yeah.
Either way, I benefited greatly from it, because instead of watching Joe Blow from my hometown, who never did anything in wrestling, teach me how to do things,
Right.
I watched Colt Cabana, Chris Hero, Michael Elgin, Roderick Strong, all of these guys month after month at like IWA Mid-South in Chicago. And then through that, I wrestled Claudio Castagnoli in my hometown, and then from there I went to Chikara, and I was on the road constantly working with different people that people in my area weren't working with. So I was getting like a diverse version of schooling, and guys were learning from someone that knew nothing. So in the end, it's the wrong route. Find a good wrestling school.
You wouldn't recommend it.
I don't know. I feel this
It worked for you.
This is it. It will only work for me. And I only say that because, I don't know, I was going to get it either way. Like, this is what I was destined to do. So I'm going to be good at it no matter what, because I refuse to take no for an answer whatsoever.
Right.
But in this kind of, like, business, one fall the wrong way, one move the wrong way is very dangerous. So if you don't have the right coordination or timing, maybe you should learn from a professional and do it properly before you start throwing people around.
What made you decide? I mean, we all grew up watching, WWF, WCW, but is there one guy or one moment to where you can look back and say, this is when I knew I wanted to do this for a living?
Not even for a living, not really. If you're asking who my favorite wrestler is, an influence, it's definitely The Rock.
Right.
But
you're not going to go the Canadian route.
Yeah. No, I honestly don't like any Canadian wrestlers. Hate Chris Jericho as a human being and wrestler. And he's like,
why is that?
Canada's icon. Oh, I did this live. He was doing some autograph signing in my hometown. I say hometown, but it was Toronto. I don't live in Toronto. I'm from Hamilton, Ontario, but it was in the area. So I do video production and video editing, and I was producing this autograph signing he was doing at a comic book shop. And by the way, this is going to totally make me not get a job at WWE, but whatever. So he was doing this autograph signing and just had his glasses on indoors, checking his phone. Mothers are like crying that they're meeting this guy. Kids are ecstatic that they're meeting this guy, waiting in the rain outside. This guy couldn't be bothered to put his fucking phone down for an hour and a half.
Well, he had an Instagram and
dude, and I'm just like,
Rocky Row, the Thunder.
I was like, man, I will never ever end up like this guy, ever. And I know he's not the only one.
Wait, we gotta do it right.
Oh, he's totally set you up for that one.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then I don't know. Maybe he's a nice guy. Maybe he's having a bad day. Who knows? Yeah. I'm not gonna totally bury myself in WWE on this podcast.
Yeah.
But on that specific day, my heart shattered, and honestly, maybe it was a lesson for me. Like, it all happened for a purpose for me to be like, hey, this is your don't do this lesson.
Don't want to be that.
Yeah. So from that point on, honestly, there's not one fan that I'll ever like shun. If I'm on my phone, I'll put it down. I'll always give them undivided attention, whether I'm a good guy or a bad guy, because they don't care either way. If they're taking the time to come up to you, they're nervous for one. So you need to take that into account.
Right.
So they're not annoying. They're just nervous because they don't know what to say. So it's like, ease the situation, give them attention because they deserve it. They paid to come watch you perform.
Right.
Or paid $100 to stand in the rain to get one picture.
To have 10 seconds with you.
Yeah.
Not even.
And then I found out how much you got paid. But let's not talk about that. And I was like, I need more money for this video, bro. Yeah, it was a sad day.
What about Chris Benoit?
Are you guys just like, okay, so this up-and-coming wrestler, Ethan Page, is now going to retire because he said everything wrong on this podcast.
So has WWE ever been your dream?
Yeah.
Guess what? We're about to crush it.
Sucks to be
You
you.
will never be in there again.
Ruining it.
Better hope Ring
no,
of Honor really takes off.
Obviously, tongue-in-cheek, but, I mean, great wrestler, but...
Yeah,
Well, let's go back to The Rock, then.
Yeah,
Who's
definitely. Let's
the
go
real
with The Rock,
influence?
yeah.
And is that... You are very... Well, what's funny is I was trying to look up before you came in, like, different websites. If anyway, it talked about you. I don't know. I've never seen this website before, but I'm going to plug them. It's called the Running Enziguri.
Yeah.
And you were listed as one of the top 25 wrestlers 25 and under. And in fact, if you go to that, it says you are the complete package. And I think that's one of the things that stands out is you go to an independent wrestling show, like an AIW, and there's a lot of fantastic wrestling.
Right.
And one of the things that we see now in a WWE with NXT or anything else is, yeah, these guys are really good wrestlers, and then I don't know if he's going to make it because he just doesn't have the mic skills.
Right.
And bar none, you go to an AIW show, you will usually cut one of the best, if not the best, promos on a mic.
Well, thank you.
Is The Rock being an inspiration kind of a part of that? Did you look at him and think, oh, I have a really big personality, and I'm kind of athletic, or I at least like wrestling. This is who I want to be. You know what I mean? Like, was that the
100%.
huge thing?
And it was because if you watch my early breaking out into the indies style,
Yeah.
I was like reckless. I was like, oh, I need to be dangerous, like all these cool wrestlers that do moonsaults and double stomps and kick really hard. I got to be super cool like that. And I was like, man, what the hell am I doing trying to be someone else when I know what my strengths are? Why don't I just cater to that? And I will stick out like a sore thumb. And that's catering to the audience, being an entertainer, and being the best professional wrestler. I'm not the best athlete, but I will be the best professional wrestler. And that was The Rock. Like, he's never going to have a cruiserweight match.
No.
He's never going to be the most technical wrestler in the world.
Hey, he does a sharpshooter.
I love the guy. But I don't know if he does a sharpshooter.
I mean, he does it.
Yeah. He crosses that into guys' legs.
Yeah.
And he holds.
Yeah.
He holds.
But
you know what I mean? He's there. He is the complete package. He's there to captivate the audience. And if you go on a jungle gym, I'm going to sound like Jim Cornette. This is terrible. If you go on a jungle gym and you watch some dudes on the monkey bars or guys flipping around, it's like, oh, that's cool, but I'm going to keep walking my dog past that. I don't really care about that. It's just dudes flying around. Who cares?
Right.
But if you captivate an audience, that's just with your your personality, your persona, your presence, the aura that you have. It's like you just control the room, and that's always what I wanted to do. It's like same with this podcast. I guarantee you, not anyone else that's on this show will come in here and be able to like hold their own in a podcast like this. And that's just the way. But that's what I want. That's what I want. I want to perfect all aspects of being an entertainer, or I guess / celebrity. I won't say I'm a celebrity yet, but practice now and be perfect later. So, yeah.
You can't be a Cleveland celebrity before John Thorne.
Yes, I know.
Hashtag get John Thorne famous.
You're really pushing that, man.
I am. At this point, I feel like our listeners can sense where the All Ego name comes from.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
But we were talking about before this, and you introduced yourself to Glenn and said, oh, I was Julian.
Yeah.
Julian sounds nothing like Ethan Page.
No. But yes.
But yeah, there's an A and an N in there.
I'm the same human being all around.
Uh-huh.
But when it's time to perform, I guess there's a part of me that I push to the forefront, but I'm still confident in my everyday life.
Okay.
So.
And where did the name come from then?
What
did you Google?
Captures. It's. I don't know. all ego. Like there's no other percentage of anything else. It's 100% ego, and 100% ego sounds terrible, but all
It's
ego.
a cool T-shirt.
Yeah, pretty cool T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to grab that one soon. But all ego, it's the same thing, and it just I don't know, just rolled off the tongue a lot better. So I went with that.
But how do you go? I mean, how do you go from the name Julian to Ethan Page?
My last name is terrible and hard to chant, but Ethan Page to me, I was like, oh, that's like movie star-ish, sounds movie star-ish, and my first moniker was the motion picture. So picture and page, I like the way things sound together, so I'm like really anal about that, especially with like marketing and like how things like, oh yeah, how people accept it.
Sure.
So the motion picture, Ethan Page, sounded perfect. And then once I had Ethan Page, kind of stuck with it. And then I grew out of the hokey ass actor gimmick because I'm not a real actor, but I really do have an ego, so all ego.
Like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Not real. Not real.
You're talking about that video that he did with that lady?
Yeah, that was real acting. But the rest of the stuff is not really good.
Suburban Commando is one of the top-rated films of all time. I'm pretty sure, guys.
Yeah, check it out. Rotten Tomatoes. I'm sure you're right.
All right, you're a 2-time AIW champion.
Yep.
And you've been a staple here in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you're from across the border, but what is it about AIW? Because we've gotten started coming to shows earlier this year,
right?
And we've seen other indie shows.
You've missed the dark ages of AIW.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They used to run in a building called Turner's Hall, and when I first started with AIW, they probably had maybe 60 fans.
Yeah, that's when I saw some shows there.
And they
60 fans.
did not give an F about anything.
Yeah.
And then it just slowly grew and grew and grew. And over time, I'm not saying this is because of me, but the company became more character-based, story-based, entertainment-based with the best wrestling. So it was like they became the complete package. So they catered to everyone.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was just like a hodgepodge of dudes doing cool moves, and there was no really like captivating characters.
Yeah.
But now they have like their marquee players.
And I really reason I ask this because I know certain guys go places over and over again, and then you obviously you go places you want to make money, so you go here here and there. But
right.
What makes AIW probably different? Because obviously you're a 2-time champion. You devote so much time coming here in Cleveland. It's close to where you're from.
Right.
But why is AIW maybe a little bit different than other promotions, and why would it does it cater to you and who you are?
I would say because this is the place I broke out in. They gave me the most exposure that no one else was giving me at the time.
Yeah.
So it's like a home promotion for me, and I've been here so long that the fans have become accustomed to me, and they've been following me through this entire journey, and like my characters changed and developed, and I've grown and developed. So I have like grown roots into AIW.
Yeah.
So unless I leave for like bigger and better things, and I'm not on the independents anymore, I'll probably be here until then.
You are only 25 currently.
Yes, that is
as we talk about bigger and better
correct.
things. Do you have in your mind a timeline etched out for these
I
bigger
was
and better
supposed
things?
to be signed this year. I told my mom I was going to quit wrestling if I turned 25, and I wasn't signed. I mean, I told the universe that too, and I have a contract with WWE Live and for Evolve. So I mean, I guess I was like, all right, we gave you what you wanted. You have a contract. But I mean, that was my like, hey, look at this, Mom. I'm not gonna quit yet.
Not done yet.
Yeah, but I don't know. The more I get closer to it, the more I realize like I have so much time. I wanted to be Randy Orton and be World Heavyweight Champion when I was like 20 years old.
Right.
Sure.
But we're not all genetic freaks and have fathers that have been in wrestling.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to do this myself and, talk shit about Chris Jericho accidentally on podcasts to create some, momentum on the internet.
You got to start a feud somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go.
That's a good guy to start a feud with.
I don't
You
hate
and
Jericho.
the two of you on the
I don't
mic
hate you,
together.
Chris. I don't hate you, Chris. I'm sorry.
Two, that'd be a couple of egos on the mic right there,
Oh, it'd be
going back and
terrific.
forth.
I would actually thoroughly enjoy that because The Rock destroyed Chris Jericho on his debut.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Would it be poetic for you, the way Jericho debuted in WWE, coming over from WCW,
right,
and interrupting The Rock, for you to get a chance to interrupt Chris Jericho, and
right?
You guys just go back and forth.
Yeah, that would be.
I mean,
great.
you take that any day, right?
I would be like, listen, that one time you were doing that autograph signing,
I was there.
you had this fruit platter beside you. Everyone was hungry, you son of a bitch. You wouldn't even share it. You didn't even eat it. It just got stale. I was there all day. My back hurt. That's what I would talk about, probably. Yeah.
I mean, it's weird to hear stories about guys, and I don't want we want to bury you totally.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, that's not what we're trying to do here. But you hear stories like that. I'm sure even indie guys that you watched on YouTube or even other pay-per-views and that guy he's a great wrestler, could be cool, and you meet him and total opposite.
I am positive that I've been cranky as shit one day.
Yeah.
Met someone for the first time, and they're just like, "Oh my god, that guy's such an asshole."
It's all ego.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No wonder. I didn't know it was supposed to be real.
Yeah.
But it's like you never know.
Right.
You can meet anyone on a bad day. Mother Teresa could have had a bad day.
That's not true.
I mean, you don't know. Did you meet her? No. So
Not on their bad day.
So you never know. Like, who knows? He could be the nicest guy in the world. It
Yeah.
was just like an eye-opening experience for me.
Yeah.
And you guys were talking about Canadian wrestlers, and I was like, this is my chance.
Yeah.
The window of opportunity has opened. What's the closest you've been in terms of going to the next level of where you wanted to be? Do you feel that you are there yet, even should that opportunity somehow present itself on large scale?
Yeah, I think mentally and talent and knowledge-wise and comfort in the ring with my performance and I guess act. Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I'd like to maybe get in better shape or get taller somehow. That'd be awesome. I mean, I'm pretty tall, but you can always get taller. But yeah, there's always room to improve. So it's never a case of being comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But if the opportunity came and they're like, "All right, buddy, here's your chance," I'd be like, "Yeah, I know. Let's do it."
All right. We always ask this to our guests, especially wrestlers, and I think we already know who it would be. But if you had to book your ultimate dream match,
Right.
who would it be against? Where?
Right.
What would the pay-per-view? WrestleMania obviously is a big one, but
Right.
what would it be called, and who goes over?
It would be on pay-per-view, the return of the pay-per-view Rock Bottom.
Oh, so it would not be Wrestling Geek
No.
Fest.
No,
And it would be
in a hotel.
You didn't even know what I was going to say.
No.
And you were just like, no, it was not going to be there.
No. It would be in my hometown at Cops Coliseum, which I don't know if I'm mistaken or not, but I think the last Rock Bottom pay-per-view was actually in my hometown, ironically. But it would be Rock Bottom, my hometown, against The Rock in the main event. No titles, no stipulations, nothing fancy.
Just one-on-one with the great one.
Just one. God damn, you got me good. You got me
I got it.
so
Were
good.
you going to do the Rock impersonation there
No.
with the one-on-one? Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't.
So I didn't totally ruin it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cool.
it's okay.
All right.
But yeah, that would be it.
Yeah.
What would be yours?
Well, we want to know who wins, by the way.
Yeah, who goes over?
You know what? I would decide in the ring.
Oh, just wing it.
Yeah.
Old time sake, huh?
Decide
Wow.
because I don't know. You don't
Look
know.
at that.
It's my hometown. But I mean, everyone thought at WrestleMania in Toronto
Yeah.
that they were gonna love who?
The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who'd they love?
Were you there?
No.
I was there.
They loved Hogan.
Wish I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe you would lose by the sharpshooter.
No, you know what?
Too much.
I don't think the match would actually happen because if he was like, okay, yeah, you kick out of the rock bottom, yeah, people's elbow, oh, you move out of the way, you go for your rock bottom, I elbow out, I grab your legs, I'd be like, listen, Rock, maybe we don't do the sharpshooter tonight.
About that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to my trailer. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, this match isn't happening. Match isn't happening. You're gonna have to work the Miz with that hat thing on again, where he dressed up like the Rock.
Don't. Miz is a good friend of the show.
Friend of the
Yeah, I
show.
know it's Cleveland. That's why I brought him up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go.
There you go. Playing to my audience.
Talking trash.
That's Jericho's boy, guys.
The Miz?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just, come on, guys. I'm trying to turn the tables around, you know? Trying to babyface the shit out of this situation now.
They're both on Tough Enough, so yeah.
They must be best friends. They were
must.
tag team champions, though, were they not? No. They both teamed with the Big Show.
Big Show.
Jericho
and
Who's the scariest man on earth?
and Show Miz.
Is he?
Oh, my God.
You think so?
Scariest man on earth. And, like, I was jabroni dude no one talked to backstage at WWE for, like, extra work. And everyone was, like, so jovial. And the Big Show, man. I just thought he was going to eat me alive.
I was backstage, and I met Glenn Jacobs, who was Kane, the day before.
Nicest man on earth.
Oh, great guy.
Couldn't say anything nicer about him.
And I met him without everything on. It's like a person. Hey, Glenn, I'm Glenn. There you go. And then the next day, I was backstage at Raw, and he comes walking by, decked out. He came back. It was when he came back with the mask the second time, like a few years ago against Cena. The program was Cena. And he recognized me, and he goes, "Hey, what's up? Hey, how you doing, Glenn?" And keeps walking. I was never more terrified in my life because you had Kane fully decked out, the blue eye,
right,
everything going, coming to say hi, and I'm just like, as a kid, I love Kane. He's my favorite. If I had you asked what would my match be against Kane, definitely. That he's a scary man. I mean, Kane is a big dude.
Oh yeah.
But Big Show, He's
just so intimidated. And he's the only hand it didn't shake. And in wrestling, it's like...
he has a big hand.
Man. Like, I probably had my hand out, and he just kept walking.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't see me, because his, vision is just on another level. I'm sure that guy gets every joke, though. Nothing will ever go over his head. But I was like, oh, my God, this guy's the scariest man alive. And he really was.
Yeah.
I was so intimidated.
What did you do for WWE then?
Yeah. And how many times have you jabronied?
Jabroni twice. When I first came to AIW, ironically, so 2013, and did nothing. No, was never a dude working on the lights in the back, never security, never a cop, never a caterer, nothing. I ate catering, though.
That's very good.
It is very good.
So you just showed up and didn't have to do anything?
I think the second day of both things, we did like a match and a promo. And that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't meet Vince at all or anything?
He walked by me in like this pink suit, looking like a G.
Like super pimp.
He said hello, but no handshake. Didn't touch the man.
You don't touch him.
No.
He doesn't like germs or anything.
He gave me like where you like flick your shoulders over to like fix your suit, and like it was one of those. Hey. And I was like, oh my God. You know who that is? Talking to nobody, just myself.
Have you listened to Gargano's story? When he did the whole, the German guy, what was it?
He was a champion of Liechtenstein.
Yes. And he met McMahon. They brought him in and like, you're going to wear this, you're going to wear that.
Yep.
And Johnny's just like, Vince McMahon's telling me what I'm going to do and all that stuff. But yeah, we always like telling stories like, what was your Vince McMahon story? And that's a pretty good one.
It was so amazing just seeing, it is like watching people set up for the circus.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, oh, how is all of this happening? And then when Raw finishes, I'm driving however many hours to the next show. I'm like, how the hell are they going to set up for the next show?
Yeah.
In this, and I'm like, oh, they're going all night.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
I want to paint a picture for the listeners right now because we're sitting here. We don't have mic stands. We're holding the mics. And at the beginning of this, as we're sitting around a conference table, Ethan's like sitting there. He's on the table, being all straight up.
Oh,
now at this point, the three of us is all kicked back.
We're half an hour.
We're half an hour into this.
I realized this thing's got a real lean on it.
What else do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah.
I was one story we didn't bring up, which I want to say is interesting, and I want to bring up before. I don't know when we're gonna end this, but before we end it, you talked about training yourself.
Right.
Before we started, and
I did
compared
a pretty good job
to Jeff Hardy.
Yes.
And I said, oh, like everything, drugs and all. And he said, no. I've never touched a drug or anything.
Yeah, nothing.
I mean, in wrestling, you are on the road constantly. You hear the stories about guys, and you get it. Although it seems like that's less the case anymore.
Which this is the part that I shake my head at because if you look at the style of wrestling now,
It's just totally different.
compared to the style of wrestling back then, they are taking way more risks, way more athletic, way more high intensity than they were back in the day when everyone was drinking and partying and whatever. I'm not taking anything away from those legends because, I mean, they deserve to do whatever the hell they want. But
let me tell you something, brother.
You look at the guys now, less drug addictions, less drunk driving, less of all that, and they're doing way more. Their bodies are probably in way worse shape at younger ages, taking way more risks, and it's all on them. And they're not into any of that stuff. Like, look at the Young Bucks. They have the craziest matches all time. Like, every weekend they're doing something nuts.
Right.
Those guys aren't going to touch pain pills or drugs or booze or, you know what I mean? They're good Christian boys. They got kids. Great dudes. Well, they're the ones taking all the risks. Who knows what they feel like?
Well, you get booked to super kick an 8-year-old. I mean, that's easy work, man.
Exactly.
Listen, you can't be high for that.
No.
That could go wrong in a
that
hurry.
Has precision.
Wrong in a hurry. But no drugs. Now, you drink for special occasions.
Yes.
What is a special occasion?
Wrestling Geek Fest?
Wrestling
Weddings.
Geek Fest?
Weddings. Birthday parties.
Wrestling Geek Fest.
If my wife wants to get a little wild, that would be the only... Yeah. Not a heavy drinker.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
And when did you get... That was recently.
Very recent.
That's right. That was only a few months ago.
Yeah. I want to be American so bad that I had my wedding on July 4th.
Because John went across the border to your
He did. I invited him. That's how you keep a job, boys.
What was her... how long have you been with her then? Have you been with her after you started wrestling?
If you really wanted to be American, you would have married an American.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure if you gave me enough time, I would have found one and got my green card. But
that wasn't on the Ethan Page timeline.
It was. But then I fell in love and kind of threw it all out the window. Yeah.
Damn it.
Couldn't pass it up for a green card. Not
Emotion.
This one. I know. And who knows if she has hers? She's from Colombia, so I mean, she could even be illegal in Canada. Who knows?
Speaking of drugs.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But my question was, when I tell a girl when I meet her that I like wrestling,
right?
It's usually like I'm giving the face like, oh, and it's like a taboo topic. But when you told her when you first went, like, hey, I'm a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
What was her reaction?
She was just like, what the hell's that?
What do you do?
Yeah, she's like, what do you mean? And I was like, oh, lucha libre. She's like, oh, like you wear a mask? Like, no. So I invited her to a show, maybe a couple dates in, and she came and saw me live in my hometown, and she was like, oh my God, you were like so much better than everyone else on the show. I was like, you're the one.
Yeah.
You're the one.
She recognized his talent.
Honestly,
was that like similar to an AIW students show right there, and you just happened to be headlining it? Is that why you were the best? Or
no, I'm
just
come
really
on, guys. Come on.
Not against Frankie Flynn?
No. I love Frankie Flynn.
Yes!
God, I hate Frankie Flynn.
He comes out to the Phantom of the Opera.
Yes!
That in itself. He could be the worst wrestler on earth.
Which he is.
Okay,
no, that is not true.
Okay, come on. He does
Stop
a reverse suplex. I know his moves. Okay? He comes out to the Phantom of the Opera, the greatest entrance music of all time.
The dude needs to wear pants.
I don't care what he wears.
No, he needs to wear pants.
I don't know what that
Some dudes
Frankie
aren't
is
supposed to be wearing.
Frankie is a listener to the show.
Does
Yes.
he?
Oh yeah.
Frankie, love ya. Soul Patch died in like 2001, but you keep it going, buddy.
Go to the tanning booth, Frankie Flynn, please.
No, man, keep it real. Phantom of the Opera lived under the opera, an abandoned opera building.
Yes.
He would not be in the sun. Would he have a tan? No.
How many times did you see that at the original theater? Being near Toronto.
I saw
you
it.
say zero. You're
No.
terrible.
I saw it twice in Toronto.
Okay.
I don't know original theater. I don't know what that
It was
means.
in Toronto.
Well,
It wasn't. I guess not the original theater, but the made-for theater.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's
twice.
what I mean.
Blew my
Yeah.
mind. It's amazing.
I was in 8th grade. I saw it there.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
amazing.
It was something else. I've seen it elsewhere, but we're clearly not talking about wrestling anymore. On this
Sorry,
show.
guys. Hijacked by musicals.
Hold on. Steve, do you hear that?
What's that?
Do you hear that siren?
Is that Big Papa? Are we gonna call Big Papa Punk?
All right, so
Scott Steiner right now with Ethan
this is
Page.
going so well.
Is it though?
Oh yeah. So this is a bit in the show. every episode we call it Scott Steiner.
Like, actually call him?
Yeah, this
Yes.
is real.
We can't
He has never
we have
answered.
his phone number.
He has never answered.
Can't tell you how we got it, but I'm sure you can.
We need a
figure
little
it out.
luck here. We need to change it up, Steve.
We need
So what we're gonna call him. He probably won't answer.
every week we discuss what are you gonna ask him this week.
Yeah. So what?
Right now, I'm ongoing that I want to do a Hulk Hogan impersonation. Just be like, hey, it's Terry.
It's 10:30 at night right now. Maybe he's up and
He
about.
could be on the West Coast with his
Never
freaks.
know.
What would you say to Scott Steiner if he answered?
I love you.
Have you met him before?
Yes.
And what was that like?
It was majestic.
I saw him. We stayed at the hotel
Stay 2 doors down from us.
at WrestleMania.
there.
Oh man.
Want to go voicemail? No.
Yeah. I'll leave a voicemail. Why do you have his number?
Because so we can call him. Obviously.
Who doesn't have Scott Steiner's number?
Hi, Scott. My name's Ethan. This guy has your phone number, and he actually has it saved as Scott Steiner, like he knows you. But he doesn't. And he calls you all the time. Next time, pick up.
Tell him you're a wrestler.
Yeah.
No, I don't want him to know that. End call. Terrible. Guys, he's going to put me in a camel clutch. The Steiner recliner.
It's not as bad as the voicemail that we had a local. He's a big name comedian in Cleveland, and we had him leave a voicemail.
Yeah.
I don't
That was
even want to
great.
know.
And he ended it with, he's like, so go wrestling and stuff.
Click.
I am a big fan of Scott Steiner.
Oh,
I am too.
love Scott Steiner.
So I did. So when we went to WrestleCon, or we stayed at the same hotel as WrestleCon. We went to WrestleMania, and it was in San Jose. And Glenn was doing the thing and talking to people, and I'm like, I'm going back to the hotel room. And I walk through the doors, and Scott Steiner was one of my favorite wrestlers.
I was meaning Vader.
Oh, that's what you're doing. Just one of my favorites growing up, as a Steiner brother, and then as Big Papa Pump. And I walked through the door that takes us like to our hallway, and then there he is, just walking down, just with his baseball cap on, and just eating an apple,
Like a
and had
man.
his sunglasses on, just like a man.
man.
I saw him eating an apple. I was like, I've been eating an apple wrong my entire life.
You're doing everything wrong your entire life.
I'm well aware now.
You
that
have a tattoo on your chest?
No, just on my shoulders.
Does Brock Lesnar have a tattoo on his chest?
He's got one right
It's a
down the
big
middle.
dick.
Yeah.
Guys, I can't talk about any of these wrestlers anymore. I'm going to be the most hated guy that no one knows ever.
I said to Scott Steiner, I was like, what do you say to him? I was like, I'm going to play it cool. Like, I'm on his level. You know?
Okay.
So I was like, hey, they're all waiting out there for you. Everybody's looking for you. He just goes, Christ. Shit, are they? Who's out there? Which ones? I was like, just all the fans. They want you. They're ready for you. All right.
You should have said Hogan's looking for you. That was when Hogan's.
I was like,
that was when Steiner was banned from the Hall of Fame because he threatened Hogan.
We found that out the next
That
day.
weekend.
He was banned from the Hall of Fame that weekend.
So
I love
because he
Scott
yelled
Steiner.
he's great. He's great. So yeah, so we call him every show, and
now you're part of history.
Now you're part of history. So now
Damn.
he's probably listening. Like,
Like, who the hell's Ethan?
this
just
number
so you know,
keeps calling me.
this is the longest interview
Oh, this is gonna be a whole show.
with someone who hasn't been on television
Yeah.
wrestling.
Damn.
So
Guess
good for
TV's
you.
making a mistake.
So I think so.
This is gold, dude. This is gonna be
I
its
think
own
so.
show. Because we usually do an interview for like 15, 20 minutes, and we sandwich in that with 2 segments. We recap Raw, what's going on, news. Oh, interview, finish. But this is gonna be a whole show, Steve.
It probably is. So at this point, what else do you want to
Yeah.
talk about?
What else? What is on the mind? Any dirt? WWE dirt?
What do you
want?
let me
I
ask you
think
this.
I've given you guys
What are-
enough
What are you the
to
biggest?
ruin me.
What are you the biggest fan of in wrestling right now?
That's tough. I don't really watch that much wrestling. Honestly, I watched the recap video of the Lucha Underground
Okay.
going into their big show.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing of the entire video was the general manager.
He's great.
I was like, this guy is the most entertaining part of a wrestling show. And it has the best wrestling. Like, I could watch Ricochet wrestle every day.
Yeah.
but I care more about this weird Latin dude coming out of this dingy office yelling everything at everyone. I'm like, this is so cool. Like, I was like, this guy's like a boxing booker, like just like making money off guys, paying them. I'm like, this is so like gritty and awesome. So I thought that was really cool, but it had nothing to do with wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you ever see yourself as like would you be willing to accept being like a Brad Maddox type where he was like the general manager, he got to wrestle every once in a while?
Yes.
But there was just so much promo action.
Yes, because I would eventually become the biggest star on the show. But with all that time on the mic and you're not becoming a giant superstar, maybe don't talk on the mic that much. Like, is that a terrible thing to say? Obviously, certain guys need to fill certain roles for everything to progress. But if you're asking me, you're going to have 6 segments on Raw where you talk on the mic. I'll be headlining a pay-per-view next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, why is this guy in a suit? Or, sorry, he wore vests.
Yeah.
Why is this guy in a
Don't
vest?
knock the vest, man.
No, I like it.
I rock
Yeah.
the vest.
He looked good in it.
You're good.
Why is the guy in the vest talking talking better than the wrestlers? I want to watch him more. They realize that, so they obviously give him more
He
opportunities.
now has blonde hair.
What?
Yeah. He dyed it blonde.
No way.
The latest house show he wrestled, he's blonde hair now.
I feel like he would look like Tyler Breeze.
It's true.
Yeah, probably pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have like that same looking face.
One guy that I want to talk about, and you have done programs with, you're currently in one with Johnny Gargano.
Right.
Cleveland native, a guy that's well known around the world.
Yeah.
Just starting to get a little notice in NXT.
Yep.
Obviously a guy that I think deserves, but has worked his way to be on the next level that would be NXT.
For sure.
But how is it like working with him? He teaches here at AIW.
Right.
Obviously he's going to have a
He
crop of
teaches
guys.
Frankie Flynn.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I'm not going to blame Gargano for Frankie Flynn's flaws.
All right.
But
I'm not going to let Gargano take all the credit.
But how,
yeah.
but how it is working with Gargano?
It's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because he has an entirely different style than I do, but it puts me in a position to cater to more fans than I usually can because he has that fast-paced independent wrestling, pure wrestling style with like the bit of entertainment, whereas I'm full entertainment kick punch guy, and I'm mixed in now in his world. So he brings up the star ratings,
Yeah.
and I bring up the charisma ratings, and like we blend so perfect together. It's like yin and yang. Like I could wrestle him every day of the week.
Yeah.
Because he does so much technical stuff, has that helped you in kind of, because you know the matches are going to be good, forced you to become an even better technical wrestler then?
Hell no.
I mean,
Hell
you gotta
no.
ask. You just wonder.
If I'm not good at it, don't do it.
Yeah.
That's like my why would you like expose yourself at sucking at something?
So no.
Especially if he's better than me too.
Well, you gotta, maybe learn a couple moves that you didn't realize could be in your repertoire.
Oh, I'll drop
suicide
people.
Dives? No suicide dives.
I throw some suicide
Okay,
dives. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
One thing majorly in the Ethan Page repertoire
Right.
is the Twitter
Yes, it is.
at all ego.
It's my signature maneuver.
Is there more
At-
to it?
no,
Just
no,
at
official.
all ego.
It's
Oh,
at
oh.
official
Yeah.
ego.
Get it
There
right.
it is.
Get it right, Steve.
Well, that's why I got to
Come
bring it
on.
up.
When you guys edit the Chris Jericho stuff out, you can edit that flub out too.
At official ego. What is your methodology behind Twitter? Because we're talking about this. Some of these things are so thought out.
Yeah.
Do you love Twitter and that's why you do it, or
I
you
do
just
and I
like,
don't.
You see all these other wrestlers and it helps and blah blah.
I love Twitter because it's like a direct link to people that care about you, but it's also a direct link for people that absolutely hate you. So anything that you say or do can be used against you or to benefit you. So like I love the Q&As and interacting with fans is my favorite thing to do, because when I was a huge independent fan, if I could have messaged Tyler Black when he was in IW Mid-South and been like, hey, man, I really liked your match. And he was like, thank you. I would be like, oh, my God, he
Yeah.
said thank you.
Yeah.
Who the hell am I? But instead, I had MSN or whatever, and like maybe had like Cole Cabana's email. I think
Hotmail.
Yes, Hotmail. Yeah, I think Cole Cabana always have a special place in my heart because I had him on my MSN chat, and I was like, "Hey, man," and he's like, "Hey, dude." Never replied again, but I'm like, "Whoa."
Print.
Yeah, did you see that?
Wait till I show this to the girlfriend.
Yeah. So I was like, wow, it's so cool. What a cool guy. And I
Yeah.
always wanted to be that cool guy. What the hell are you doing all day that you can't just be like, thanks, man, appreciate it, or answer some questions? Like, everyone takes a shit. That is the perfect time to
There you go.
Some,
Catching up,
some
yeah.
more than one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Eat your fiber.
All right. 20 minutes after saying we're going to wrap this up, we're going to
Sorry.
wrap this up.
No.
No. This is
I
great.
feel like you're going to be on again. So
Here's what
you're more than welcome to come on.
Can you
again.
do any
let me know.
impersonations?
No, just myself. I mean, what
Come
else do you
on.
need? I'm terrible at that.
Really?
Terrible at impersonations. Yes.
Give us the best one you think you can do.
Oh man, you're really gonna like force me to do
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, I think this will be.
I
this'll
can't.
be
I
great.
honestly, I can't even think of a character to impersonate.
Do Jericho.
Oh
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, I'll do Jericho, right now.
or the Rock.
Ask me a question.
I'm trying to think how we should.
Hey
ask
Jericho, how was it like to come out your first time WBE against The Rock, top of the game? What was your mindset going in?
Just let me fix my scarf and tweet somebody. I'll get back to you. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I love you, Jericho. Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. Ah!
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna be walking down the streets of Toronto one day, and this dude's gonna be like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "What?" Pull his glasses off, put me in the walls of Jericho on the street. I guarantee
He's
it.
not in Toronto. He's from Winnipeg, you idiot.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know,
jeez. Yeah.
but I'm not.
You just.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's not gonna come to my small ass
You
hometown of
idiot.
Hamilton.
Idiot.
Can't believe you call me an idiot.
That's
And you
what
want me
you
to come
did.
back to your show?
Yeah.
it's a bit.
He's like, hey,
That's
you're
what
definitely-
Jericho said. Remember?
No.
Someone in the crowd and someone in the crowd said, "Go back to Toronto."
What?
And he's throwing the taker back in the ring. He turns around, and goes, "I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot," and gets in the ring.
Oh
See?
yeah.
There's your impersonation right there.
There you go.
Oh, you did.
I wasn't calling. I was just doing the bit.
Oh,
So you're fine.
thank
All
you.
right.
You got all leaning over the table.
I was lounging, and this guy's like idiot, and I was like, my mother says that.
Thank goodness
Yeah.
he just leaned back in that chair.
Yeah. I was
It
like,
got serious
whoa.
there for a moment, and
Yeah.
I was like, all right.
I gotta recover
I
from
remember
this.
that this chair reclines.
All right. On that note, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, no
All
problem.
Ego, Ethan Page. Follow him on Twitter at official
Yeah.
Ego.
Yeah.
There you go. You got it.
Buy
and,
his T-shirts at Pro Wrestling Tees.
and
Yeah.
do not
.com.
tweet this to Chris Jericho, please.
Oh, I'm sure our listeners will help you out with that.
Yeah. I'm sure they will.
And if Scott Steiner calls back asking for you, I'll relay the message to you.
Please. Let him know I love him, and I still watch him versus Samoa Joe from TNA,
Oh boy. All
which was
right.
great. Do not knock that match.
Oh, that's good.
All right. You're more than welcome to come on again. I'm
Let me
sure
know
we're gonna
when.
have you. You're always here in Cleveland for AIW.
Yep.
And thank you so much.
No problem.
Thanks to AIW for letting us come out to Wrestling Geek Fest over the weekend, partake in the festivities, and letting us interview Ethan Page. A great interview with him. If you enjoy long interviews, that one was definitely for you. So,
Yeah. And thanks to the folks of Wrestling Geek Fest
Yeah.
for allowing us. Yeah.
I would say Page will be back on in the near future.
Oh yeah.
Great guy to talk to. All right, let's wrap up the show by talking about SummerSlam.
It's coming up this week.
You know what? Was a little bit excited. I'm excited for Taker and Lesnar just because of how they're going to book it. Rollins and Cena. But the other matches, I'm just like, I'm like, if this was a regular pay-per-view and you had to pay $35 to get it, I would not pay for this pay-per-view.
Really, I think there are going to be some good matches. Cena and Owens is going to be, or
It's going to be
not
decent.
Cena and Owens, sorry.
Rollins.
Cesaro and Owens, is
Okay.
what I meant to say, is going to be an excellent to great match.
I don't think so because they're not going to give it enough time.
You don't think they're going to give enough time to those guys?
No. Come on. You know the mid-card, lower mid-card guys.
If they get 10 to 15 minutes, it's going to be an awesome match.
If they get
though.
15, 10 minutes is too much. Too little. It's going to be rushed. They rush it. If he gets John Cena time like Owens did, he can have a great match. If he gets main event NXT matches where there are no storylines, and just go out there and wrestle
Right.
with a little bit of interaction, great. But they'll have a good match, but it's not going to be like, whoa, 5-star, whoop-de-doo. Like,
I'm appreciative of the fact that they are trying to start to build feuds within guys, and it's not just over a belt. Because too long, what we've bitched about is that, okay, we have this feud over the belt, and we get that, but why are these other guys fighting? We're starting to see, Sheamus and Orton costing each other matches back and forth. That is now a building feud.
Yeah, but we've seen that we've seen that thousands of times.
Yeah, but I mean, go back in time. You've seen a lot of matches tons of times. How many times did you watch Tito in Macho Man?
Okay, come on. Orton to Sheamus is not Macho Man and
No, I
Tito.
understand that, but I mean, the point is, you got to build a rivalry somewhere.
I don't want to see Sheamus.
It's not Rock and Triple H either, but I saw that match many, many times.
Because it's Rock and it's The Rock, dude.
Well, I get it. So maybe Cesaro Owens can become something like that, because there's two guys that you think and you hope are going to be around for a while.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that one. Sheamus and Orton, I don't know. I mean, at least it gives me two guys to watch that are having a feud together.
But there's nothing on the line. I don't care about it.
No, but it's been they've had solid matches. And
dude, you are just all over WWE's dick right now, aren't you?
I'm just saying that we sit here and want good matches for so long, and we want a reason why these guys are going after each other. Look, I love the fact that you're putting the Wyatt family against basically the Shield again, back and forth. That's fine, great. Those guys, and I love the fact that Ambrose keeps saying, this may not end the war. This may keep going. Great, I want it to keep going. If these guys are all in wrestling together for the next 10 to 15 years, awesome. That's a rivalry I could watch for the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, I'd like to see more Wyatt family, though. More people join the Wyatt family. Something
well,
new.
Yeah, sure. But then you could also, and I have no idea where things are going to go creatively, but imagine Rollins loses the title this weekend, gets pissed with Triple H. Triple H kind of like excommunicates him.
There's still Shield reunion.
There's still
Dude,
one more.
You are all over that.
Oh yeah, I would love to see it. But there's still one more Wyatt family member to return. There's still one more Shield family member to return. It'd be fun to watch.
The Shield's never coming back.
Ryback, Miz, and Big Show. That's gonna be I'm not.
The Shield's not coming back ever, dude.
Shield will come back.
No.
They will return.
It's gonna be a triple threat match for the title at WrestleMania.
They'll be back.
Triple threat.
They will be back.
They can't.
Ryback, Miz, and Big Show. Don't be all over that just because the Miz is in it.
No, that's gonna two big guys with Miz. Miz is a great heel, but there's only so much he can do with two bigger guys that can't really work.
I don't see that match going anywhere. Quite frankly, similar to the Big Show's career. Well, it's true. He's around because he's a big. There's only so many times that I can believe. Oh my goodness, here's this insurmountable big guy.
No, I got you. Okay, what else you got? The Divas match will be good.
Divas match will be good.
I think it's too many people.
I would rather see.
And they're only going to give them 10 minutes, so that's a minute per person.
I'd rather see one person each from that team. But why can't we have one person each? And Nikki Bella puts the title up at this point. Stephen Amell and Neville versus King Barrett and Stardust. As much as I don't want to see that match, I want to see that match just for the fun factor in that one.
Dude, it's going to be terrible.
Just for the
guy can't wrestle.
Throwing out the thought of everything else out the window. And you got to have one fun match in there with a big SummerSlam or WrestleMania, right? It's like...
Well, you got Jon Stewart coming. He's a celebrity aspect.
Like when you booked Snooki, Nobody expected her to wrestle.
And nobody wanted her to wrestle.
I know. Nobody necessarily wants
Nobody cared.
But it's still a silly kind of fun match just for whoever.
Dude,
it's fine.
It's bad.
See, I'm kind of ignoring that match because there's no expectations out of it. Ziggler-Rusev, I didn't like the fact that Lana built this match the whole time leading up to it.
I don't care about. I'm cool with Ziggler coming back because he's from Cleveland, but it's like it was nice to have Ziggler away because we were getting kind of sick of the bland Ziggler. Yeah, because they didn't give us anything else. And then Rusev is not the same guy he was before, and then he got the John Cena burial. John Cena buries him, and that's it. Yeah, I think that will be a good match just to watch as it stands alone, and maybe we'll look back and be like, that was a pretty good match. Dude. But there's no purpose to that one. Rusev came out on a fucking tank at WrestleMania. Yeah. And now he's in the middle of a basically Divas feud. Yep. Come on. It's essentially what's going on there. A tank! Two Divas that don't even wrestle, by the way. He came out with the army in a tank at WrestleMania. Now he has shoes now, and He's a totally different man.
Well, he has to have the shoes now.
Totally different guy now.
He broke his foot.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
And then you have your fatal 4-way tag match between the Primetime Players, Los Matadores, the New Day, and the Lucha Dragons.
Lucha.
Love Lucha. But, I mean, the Matadors, I don't know. I think you're just throwing the Matadors in there because...
You got to fill the Hispanic.
Well, you have
audience.
Lucha for that.
That's true.
You're just throwing them in there because you don't have anybody else to throw in there.
Throw the Ascension in there and make it 5-team.
Boy, are they gone.
Dude, what happened to the Ascension?
They haven't even really gotten a title shot yet.
No, they don't deserve it. They haven't gotten over. They were so over NXT. They were built huge, and then they came to. They have a cool They have a cool gimmick. I like the gimmick. I like the music. The Titantron video pack, like it's great. Just that the guys are not getting over. They're not getting enough time, and Vince is not a fan.
At SummerSlam, would you rather see the Matadors or the Commodores with Lionel Richie?
Commodores, definitely.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm not big on the Matadors
I'd love to see the Commodores.
Definitely not.
She's
big on
a
them.
brick house.
Oh,
That's Commodores.
They can play this the theme.
It'd be
How
great.
about Demi Lovato being the theme song?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. She's hot, like the summertime.
That song is about losing your virginity, dude.
Oh, well, perhaps some people are going to lose their virginity, their WWE Network virginity, when they purchase the network after watching SummerSlam.
Dude, it's just a shit show.
I would lose my virginity to Demi Lovato.
Okay, but Jon Stewart's hosting.
I would not to Jon Stewart.
You like
I
Jon
have no
Stewart
interest
hosting?
in that. No, I love Jon Stewart hosting.
Yeah.
I don't have any wish to lose my.
All right, really quick
Already gone
predictions.
virginity.
Taker, Lesnar. Who's winning?
Oh, it should be Lesnar, but I feel like they're gonna give this to Taker somehow.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Rollins, Cena.
I think Cena.
I think Cena wins by DQ.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no legit finish
there's
to
no
this.
title change.
Yeah. Primetime players, I think, retain.
Yeah, I can see that.
Ryback, Miz, or Big Show?
I'm gonna say Ryback retains.
Yeah, the big guy. Sheamus, Randy Orton.
I say Orton.
With an RKO out of nowhere.
Of course.
Reigns and Ambrose versus Wyatt family.
Reigns and Ambrose.
All right. Yeah. Same. Owens, Cesaro.
I'm gonna say Owens wins.
I think the same. The ladies, PCB, Bella, or
PCP.
BAD.
I'm gonna go Bella's. No, I'll go the Submission Sorority House girls.
PCB.
Yeah.
Palm City Beach. I'm gonna go with the Sasha Banks led team. Team Bad. Ziggler, Rusev.
Oh, don't even care. How was Ziggler?
I think actually
Returning.
Rusev is probably gonna win that. Your favorite, the Green Arrow and the Red Arrow versus King
don't
Baron
even
and
care.
Stardust.
Don't even care.
It's got to be the Green Arrow and the Red Arrow. Let me ask you this, real quick, just to throw this out here before we end the show. As we talk about tag teams and lack thereof, I loved Cesaro and Tyson Kidd.
Yeah.
But on SmackDown, you and I texted each other about a match that we wanted to watch.
Yeah.
Did you watch it? Cesaro and Neville versus Owens and Seth Rollins.
That was a good match.
Dude, how sweet was that Cesaro-Neville team?
That's a match to where that's like a WrestleMania kind of match. You know, that's the firepower in that one match.
I would love to see a Cesaro-Neville tag team after watching that.
Yeah.
They were amazing together. That was so cool.
Give it time. More than one match.
Yeah, they probably will. Somebody will get buried. They'll have to put them together.
True.
Right.
The Rock might come out to
The Rock
SummerSlam.
may show up, yeah.
Stone Cold's going to be there the weekend. Not for the show, but for 2K 16 when they're doing something there.
And we did talk about this. This is a good point to note. It may or may not mean anything. The Rock and John Cena obviously have a history. They did the shake of hands. It's all good now.
Yeah.
The Rock obviously has his problems with the Authority, going back to WrestleMania, taking out Triple H, and Ronda Rousey taking out Stephanie McMahon. And John Cena was wearing...
I told you, this is
You did?
stealing my thunder here.
What colors?
He's wearing the U colors. But I don't think that means anything.
I don't know. It
It's just-
usually means something.
No. Oh, so when he wore purple and yellow, it meant something?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
He just like
I
those
think that's the
colors.
last two colors he hasn't used ever.
Could be.
58 owns
the orange
that
and the
promo.
green, though. I don't know.
58 colors.
Awfully suspicious.
I don't know. I don't see that happening with The Rock helping John Cena. I think The Rock will come out and help Taker maybe. Go after Lesnar. Rock Lesnar WrestleMania, baby.
Oh. See, I think the angle with John Cena sets up Rock Triple H WrestleMania.
Yeah. I could see that too, but The Rock is rumored to be there, so
we'll see.
Any capacity would be great. Have The Rock there to be terrific.
Yeah, I certainly don't want him to be there incapacitated.
Correct. Never know. Maybe CM Punk will come back. Let's just bring everybody back.
Yeah, bring them all back.
Bring them all back. All right. Any final thoughts? We wrap this baby up.
Yeah, I just don't understand how you have a SummerSlam without Shane McMahon.
God,
I just want to throw that out there.
I agree. I love to see Shane, but I don't think he's ever coming back. It's all Triple H's and Stephanie's baby now.
Follow us on Twitter at TIA Wrestling or The Steve Guy and Glenmore CLE.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks to @OfficialEgo,
Yeah.
Mr. Aldego Ethan Page, who, how about his choice of being at the Rock Bottom pay-per-view?
Yeah, that was great. That was a great
blast from a pass on that one.
Yeah, obviously facing
The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock at his own pay-per-view.
It's pretty good. I liked it.
Pretty good. Great interview with Ethan Page. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week. Make sure to go to AIWrestling.com. Big event coming up in September. Faith No More on September 11th. And one of the matches, if you know him by Hardcore Holly and Sparkplug.
Sparky Plug.
He will be facing Nick Gage. If you have been to go to AIW shows, Gage has been at the last few. Really has leaving his mark here in AIW. He will be facing Hardcore Holly.
Leaving a lot of marks on his competitors.
That's going to be a hell of a match between a guy in Holly who is very, very stiff in the ring and Nick Gage who can take punishment with the best of them. So that'll be a great match. So look forward to that. And did you hear about Frankie Flynn's match?
I did not.
It was a disaster. He botched so much.
Devastated that I didn't get to see Frankie.
He botched so much.
No.
He's retiring as we speak.
That's not true. He'll never retire.
Frankie Flynn.
I love that.
We hung out with him Friday night.
I love that Ethan was all about Frankie Flynn. As everyone is.
No.
And the Duke.
Should we give our announcement?
Yeah, you want to do the big announcement?
Yeah, we got to do that.
All right, let's do the big announcement right now. Go.
So, we've been teasing this on purpose, towards the end, because we didn't know how to say this, but we wanted to announce that the big announcement is that we're announcing that the big announcement.
Yeah, we got tired of teasing it, so here it is.